Hi guys, good morning. Today I'm going to be flipping through this absolutely massive book. It's called Japanese Woodblock Prints by Taschen, 1680 to 1938. I'd seen this book before. It was always out of my price range, but I managed to find it at that book sale I went to not long ago. I do have a smaller version of this, so I will of course be selling that one. It's an absolutely massive book. I've got a few of these massive books, but I am selling a few off as well because sometimes they just sit there and they're just so big and clunky that you don't have a chance to look through them. I've had to prop the camera up really high in order to see this, film all this, because again, it's a huge book, and it's a beautiful looking book. I haven't had a chance to open it yet, so let's see how it goes. I do like Japanese woodblock prints. I do like more of the fantasy ones rather than the traditional scenes. Anyway, let's see what this book is like. It is really heavy. I think it's about 5 kilo, more than 5 kilos, I guess. But it's a beautiful looking book. Anyway, and very difficult for me to see if everything is in frame, but I'll try my hardest to capture it all. I think that works. Starting off, I mean, the print quality is amazing. It's kind of a textured cloth here. It looks amazing, the colors. I thought I'd flip through a Japanese book for a change. I know a lot of content has been Western, more American and British and things like that. So I thought today, why don't I give you guys an idea of some Japanese books I have found. Anyway. I do have the light on, but it seems to be pretty glossy, so let me just find a way to make it less glossy. So Japanese woodblock prints in 200 masterpieces from Ikuyo to Shinhanga. Recently, if you go to places like Jimbocho, where you can buy like prints, they tend to be quite popular. You can get cheap ones or expensive ones, but there tends to be a lot of foreign people now are very interested in these types of woodblock prints. You can definitely head to Jimbocho or other places in Tokyo if you want to find some of these prints. I'm wondering if AI will miss some of the nudity that we just saw there. I do want to sit down because it's a bit of a chunky book, so I'm going to put my trusty camera under here and hopefully it does a good job at propping it up. It doesn't really say who's done what, so I don't know how much there is going to be for me to say. I do love these kind of like mean looking characters though, the cats. This book also has a German translation. This one here on the left is skink and rat snake. I do have a rat snake. My son caught one. We have a rat snake in a glass cage. Very, very placid snakes. Obviously not venomous. This one here says picture of a night attack. Yeah, this one, I don't know if AI is going to capture that, but it's pretty lurid of an octopus. Let's see if AI caught that one. That one's female diver being pleasured by a large and small octopus. Anyway, if you guys want to see that in more detail, please rewind, but I'm not going to run the risk of being flagged there. That one there was a kind of famous one though, which I had seen before. I don't know the it's also in French, by the way. I don't know the history of these kind of like pictures of like octopus having sex with women. I don't know what the history is. I do. You see, Pictures like this remind me of something like I think Frank Miller most probably would have seen this and sort of, you know, had real inspiration. It's not that far off from a Frank Miller picture. This one's called 100 Types Selected by Yoshitoshi. I mean, this is a beautiful book. It's a great book. There is absolutely so much detail. You have these kind of little creatures here with swords. I mean, if you like fantasy, you can, you know, you can really look at these pictures for a very, very long time. Of course, a topless woman over here. There seems to be an octopus. Again, oh, here's the octopus. I don't know if that's meant to be Lee Perry or something. Or is that some Japanese guy? What's that one called? We obviously don't have tigers in Japan. The one on the left was called... don't know. Page 48. I have to say, it's a little bit confusing to find what they're called. Sorry guys, I'm going to go back and forth here to try to figure out who it is. Page 47. It's called The Qing Soldier's Foolish Plan of Using Tigers as Bombs. Okay. This book is huge, guys. It's absolutely massive. For the sake of everybody, I mean, it's 600 pages long, so maybe I'll break this down into 2 videos, guys. Otherwise, it's just going to be way too long. I mean, that's an amazing color. Okay, I'm very happy to have purchased this book officially. Oh my god. So page 55, I really like this one here. I do wish it was a bit easier for me to understand who did what. I'm really confused. It doesn't really have page, it says page 52, 53, 56, 57, so I don't know who did this one, but that's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful picture. Catalogue of works. The early masters, 1680 to 1761. For context, Australia was discovered in 1788. So this is pre-Australia, my home country. And one thing about living in Japan, you do get a sense that some of the customs have been going on for centuries. There's a lot of sex here, actually. I don't know if it'll capture that. Okay, so the layout is going to be one picture and a blurb in English, German, and French. If there's anything extremely explicit, I may skip it. The name of the artist is here. If you want to have a look at it later, you can pause it and do your own research. For the sake of fluidity and to not bore the crap out of you guys, I'm not going to name every artist. However, for the ones I'm interested in, like this orange color of some guy getting attacked by a bear, I guess, I will definitely look at the name. Tori Kiyomasu, Kintaro wrestling with a black bear. Yes, that orange is beautiful. I think I'm gonna have to read this. I have this kind of interest as to, like, you know, obviously Japan has manga. Everyone's fascinated with cartoons, but if you look back at the 1600s, they already had these cartoons. I was chatting with my wife the other day saying, where do these bloody, like you turn on the TV, every ad has like some cartoons, and it's like, when does this fascination with cartoons start in this country? It's a real mystery to me. You can tell these are very old. I mean, There's lots of dirt in these prints, on these prints. An eagle hunting a monkey. Poor monkey. There is one other book of prints that I have, which I'll most probably film also. And they had some great pictures, some really bloody scenes of battle and stuff. I really, really enjoyed that book. These traditional pictures, yeah, it's pretty interesting to look at for history perspective. However, I do like the more fantasy based ones. This guy looks like he has a bit of a toothache, poor guy. Hopefully I'm capturing this all. I am sitting down. Seems to be in focus. Hopefully it's not too bright. This one here is called The Actors. Nakajima Mihozo as Jakotsu Baba and Bando Hikasaburo 2 as Shinmura Kaneya. So I guess it's a picture of some actors. Okay, this is part 2, the beginning of full color printing, 1765 to 1783, still before Australia's discovery by the Brits. The beginning of color printing. Those faces are kind of amazing. Okay. This guy's officially my favorite character so far. He's just chilling there, bare chest. He has a little fan and he's smoking a cigarette. What a great picture. This one is by Suzuki Harunobu. Hote and a courtesian smoking on a veranda while watching the moon. That's life. Oh, sneaky picture there. Gonna move forward. Although I do want to read the history. Why? Who makes these pictures? Does it say anything? The scene is taken. It's called Erotic Manemon. The scene is taken from a 2-volume album, Elegant Erotic Manemon, which tells a story of a sex addict who wants to understand the way of love and is transformed into a bean-sized Manemon by 2 beauty goddesses so he can set out on various adventures. It says, after the preliminary episode, he appears as a miniature peeping Tom, observing different couples having sex during his journey through Japan. Each volume contains 12 sheets were inscribed with a description written by Hyaki. So, here he is. This is the little sexual deviant. Sorry, guys. This is it's new to me as well. I have to admit, that was pretty damn interesting reading that little blurb there. I will return to this book. This is an interesting one. This is Katsukawa Shunsho, the actor Nakamura as the monk. As a monk. Oof. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with this guy. Shoki, the demon queller. The sumo wrestler Kumo Emon lifting up a young girl with one finger. Early 1770s. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna cut this in half, guys, because it's 600 pages long. The actor Ichimura as Shinozuka Iga no Kami. It says he's dressed in a black, hugely oversized sewer costume with trailing trousers. That's pretty cool. If you ever do come to Japan, I'd recommend you line it up with one of the sumo tournaments. I've gone about 3 times over the years. I haven't been in many years, but it is extremely powerful to watch these huge guys just they attack each other from such a close range. The TV doesn't really capture the ferocity of it. This is the golden age, 1784 to 1798. One thing about sumo wrestling is the closer you get, the less chairs they have. You may be sitting on a tatami. Sitting on a tatami is quite uncomfortable, unless you're good at crossing your legs. I am not. So I wouldn't recommend sitting that close. It's expensive, and you have to sit on the ground. I think it's good enough to get one of the closest seats. Any seat's fine, to be frank. It's not that huge a stadium. Anyway, I digress. Oh, it has a bookmark. That's cool. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to capture all these. So I think this book ended up costing me about 10,000 yen. So it's 10,000 Japanese yen. So I don't know how many American dollars that is at this stage, but I think considering how much writing there is and the size of the prints and the quality of the paper, I think that's a bargain. I think it usually goes for about 25,000 maybe. So it was a good opportunity to buy something cheap. I had been looking at it for many years. I didn't really expect to find it on sale. But I think there's not much of a market in Japan for these huge books because people don't have that much space. This is a famous one. Sharaku, the actor Otani Onji III as Edobe. It says, with head thrust forward, arched eyebrows, staring eyes, firmly set mouth, and splayed fingers, this portrait expressing pure evil and aggression is considered one of Sharaku's most dynamic masterpieces. Definitely one that I have seen before. Wow, look at the faces. So you can look at the guy's name, Sharaku, and then Google him, and I'm sure there is much more work that's considered here. That's included here. Powdering the neck. Hopefully it's still in focus. It is. This one here is the Courtesian Motsue of the Daimon Monjia. A white cat with black patches is playing on the right shoulder of a beautiful woman and is about to pull pull out one of her elongated hairpins with its left paw. Pretty sure it's not going to flag me for that nudity. A response to censorship. Okay. I think this is going to get interesting, guys. 1800 to 1829. It says here, a law passed early in 1800 declared large head portraits of women and pictures of luxurious dresses to be unsuitable, and with this bureaucratic stroke, the golden age of beauty prints came to an end. Okay. I mean, it's kind of amazing, these scenes. Yeah, that's cool. I think we're basically halfway, so I'll run through to the next end of the chapter, and then I'm going to start the next video. So this one here says a room inside a brothel in the pleasure district has been decorated for New Year festivities with rice straw or hemp ropes, cuttings of Falstaffin and the fern japonica. There are still brothels in this country. Prostitution is illegal, but there are brothels. I'm going to say it's still part of the culture. I do like these kind of mysterious figures. Look at the faces. Wow, that's an amazing one. Utagawa Kunisada from the series The Great Hits of the Stage. With a blossoming plum branch clenched between his teeth and wild hair streaming in the wind, the young actor Ichikawa Danjuru is here portrayed as Kan Shoujo, the name by which the poet, scholar, and politician is known in Kabuki Place. That's a great picture. We're past the 300 mark. Let me just stop at the next chapter. I think we're going to stop here, guys, because the next chapter keeps on going quite far. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I will put the bookmark here and close this heavy book. I think I'm going to open it from the other side next. I hope you've enjoyed the first half of this. Tune in. The next half will be up soon.